Hi, I'm Dave Epstein. Welcome to Growing Wisdom, and let's talk about keeping weeds out of your garden. It's probably something that all gardeners deal with. Everybody hates the fact that they have weeds in the garden. It makes the garden look messy. It starts to take over the plants you want. So there's several ways in which you can stop weeds from coming in. You could put down a mulch around your plants, and a thicker mulch does definitely help to keep the weeds out. So some people use a synthetic that stops seeds from germinating. That can help as well. There's organic products like corn gluten. You can put corn gluten around, and that will also help the weeds. But all of those methods, while good, are still not going to stop every weed from coming up. So you have to pull up weeds. And one of the best tips I can give you about pulling weeds up is do it before they go to seed. So what does that mean, go to seed? Well, a plant, any plant, its purpose in life is really to make more plants. Many plants make seeds, the seeds pop around, and you get new plants to come up. That's why maybe you have a pine tree coming up somewhere because the seed fell or a bird dropped it there, or a bird ate the seed, or maybe an animal ate the seed and pooped the seed out, and then you get a new plant. Well, we're going to try to stop some of that process by pulling the weeds up. Simple video, I could stop now, but let me show you why it's so important. So I've got a couple of plants here, a couple of weeds. So here's a nasty weed actually related to in the eggplant family. And you can see that underneath all these little tiny bulbs, these are seeds, and these will turn purple, fall to the ground, and create more little weeds coming up all over the place. So by pulling this up before these seeds mature and getting this away, putting it, say, in the compost pile, or you could bag it or put it way in the woods somewhere if you have that opportunity, then you won't have the weed anymore. Clover for me is a particularly difficult weed in the garden. I find these clover plants coming up all over the place. So this particular clover plant just pops up everywhere, and one of the reasons for that is it creates these little seed pods after it flowers. So this is the seed pod from this particular clover plant. See all those little brown seeds? As the clover plant seed pod matures, they actually fly. So as the pod pops, the seeds go flying everywhere. By getting this up before the seeds pop, I can avoid more clover plants next spring. Speaking of popping, this is jewelweed, which by the way is a natural poison ivy antidote. And you can see the seed pod here. And I'm going to very carefully grab that. And the reason I carefully grab it is because you can see all those seeds in there. And these seeds can go flying. This particular plant is ingenious. Something brushes by it like a raccoon or a fox or a human, and as soon as it touches those pods, they explode. So here we are on my path, and obviously I like to keep the path clean. I've got some hosta plants here. I've got a hosta plant here, another hosta plant there. And this particular variety of hosta, these are the seed pods. So it flowers. You're probably familiar with the purple or the white flower stalks. Some people like it, others don't. So this particular plant has all these seed pods. Now these are not mature yet, so you can see inside all the black. They're a flat seed. So look down at the ground here. Come on down. See this? There's a hosta plant. Now I don't want a big hosta plant coming up in the middle of the path, but this seeded itself in from previous years. So one of the things I could do with that hosta plant is I could dig it up and plant it somewhere else, or I could give it away to somebody that wanted a hosta plant. So you can weed any time of the year, but the most important time to pull the weeds out is when they're going into seed, and most plants will start setting seeds sometime in the latter half of summer through fall. So here's one of those little hosta plants that had seeded itself in. The other thing about the hosta plants that seed themselves in, generally they're not as interesting as the parent plant, but occasionally you will find a hosta plant that is unique, and if you do, that's when to keep it. For Growing Wisdom, I'm Dave Epstein.